Hello YouTube, welcome back. Today's video, I'm excited. We are going to be making all of this happen. Enjoy.
All right, Austin, give us an update. What's happening? What's new?
We are working on the windshield and asking how much I've recorded so far.
I know you've recorded nothing, so working on the windshield, Austin's favorite thing in the world.
It's a little dusty again.
Dust? Is it fiberglass dust? That's the issue?
No, it's the acrylic or whatever this is. So
okay.
I got this, I think from LP Aero. I forget who I got it from, but summed up, I deleted the windshield kit, the transparency kit from Vans when we were able to make deletions. I kind of regretted it. I saw a few things mentioned about C. Bailey, about some issues with customer service there. Anyways, I ended up going with LP Aero. This is not a sponsored video. Honestly, just stick with the stock Vans transparencies at this point. So anyways, what I'm getting at though, bought these from them, which is why you probably never saw them in the garage up until now. So we got this in a couple weeks ago. But getting them cut, and there is definitely still a lot of cutting to do. The way I've gotten it to here is Vans calls out a specific measurement for where they want the front lip of your windshield to rest. So I took a piece of scrap, I think this is a fuel tank stiffener, LCP, laser cut part. And anyways, I cut it down to the dimension they called for, and I've just been taking this on, off, closing the garage, leaving the extension cords out, causing so much dust. But slowly getting it there, and what's helped me do this is I went ahead and drew you'll see a black Sharpie line here on the side. Don't copy this. This is, you guys know this spiel. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but this has been helpful. I drew a black Sharpie, just a fat black Sharpie line all the way across the length there, and then I peeled back a layer of the protective film on the windshield. So when I laid it on there, I kind of eyeballed to see where I wanted the edge to land. Now, of course, it's taken like 5 attempts. This will probably be attempt number 6 of cutting it, but it has kind of helped to guide me to where I want it to lay in order to let me do the, I think it's called the sportsman method. Look into windshields. This whole video here is not going to be a how-to video for windshields or transparencies. There's plenty of other videos out there. That's how I'm doing it. I'm using that black Sharpie line to help sight where I want the edge to be. And then, come over here, instead of drawing a Sharpie line on the glass, acrylic, whatever this is called, instead of drawing a Sharpie line, instead I have been sighting down, looking at that black Sharpie line underneath, and then taking masking tape, because I find this is easier to follow than marker line. That's just me. But the way I'm also sanding it is using just a regular old flap disc sander. I did my initial cut actually with a cutoff wheel, and then I've been using this for the last, I don't know, quarter inch or so, which is probably also what caused a lot of dust. But using a 80 grit flap disc, it works really well with it. Just have to be very careful. Just kind of turning it on, working down the length of it, and then after the fact, thanks to Ryan Flies, I watched his video on his transparencies and saw that he used this guy, whatever the heck this is, belt sander. So this is helping to kind of clean up some of my imperfect sanding work after the fact. It's going up and squaring off that edge nicely. I think this is a 50 grit belt on here. Anyways, that's where I'm at. I'm not recording it because it is so dusty.
I would like to point out that this is yet another power tool he purchased, and he tells me this, you know what he says? He says this will probably be the last tool I have to buy for this build, or maybe you said power tool. Last power tool. So I'm not going to hold him to that because I know it's a big fat lie, but we'll pretend that that's the last power tool he has to buy.
It's optimistic.
It's optimistic.
So that's where I'm at. And the reason why I'm doing this, by the way, this video, you probably won't see me install this windshield, but I'm in one of those areas of the build where like this whole, I feel like this portion of the build is all of this area where it's like I can't do this until I do this, but I can't do that until I do this. So I can't do my dash cover that I want to do. I want to do some kind of a paint treatment on the top of it. I don't know what kind of paint yet, have ideas, but I want to paint the top of this canopy, but I don't know how far to paint it because I don't know where the front of the windshield is going to rest. Now I have a good idea of where it's going to rest after I've done these basic cuts, but now I might as well just finish cutting the rest of the front windshield. So anyways, you probably won't see the windshield being installed, but now I know I can put it back on here, draw a line, and I can mask this off, take this off of here, paint it, put it back on, rivet it on, and then get to the windshield in the future. So Whole lot of talking and a whole lot of dust. Alrighty, so the paint is down. You'll see this clear film over the top of it. I went ahead just now, just in case, just to future-proof myself here, I put a clear protective film. It's the stuff that's meant for, I think it's auto repair, like crash collision wrap of some sort. Anyways, clear protective film that I reapplied on the windshield earlier. Anyways, tangent. I put a clear film down over the top and cut out exactly where the glare shield goes until. With the idea being, in the event that I want to, if I happen to want to in the future put down fabric over the top, I'll have a nice little template to go off of. So this is just a loose piece of clear film. I'll find a way to neatly roll it up and put it in storage and probably never use it, but I figured while I have the chance now, I have the opportunity now, this would make my life easier in the future versus if I did want to put fabric and it was already installed in there. Gosh, that'd be a pain to try to find out my measurements. So that's why I have that clear film. I'll roll this up neatly and we'll continue forward from there. Quick little update. We got our carpets in from Flightline Interiors. I mentioned in that past video when we received our seats from Flightline Interiors that we had carpets on order still. They're here and they look awesome. This one here, I'm obviously, actually all of this, I'm obviously not putting in for good. It's all roughly in here. I don't even have the tunnel cover on top in there. That's why nothing here looks as it will look in the final product. I just wanted to see what it would look like, kind of with the Zolatone and kind of how things would look. So yeah, instructions, everything. I probably won't get to installing this for a while, but that is what it looks like. We're getting back to the rest of the build. I think we are now ready to go ahead and get the forward portion put on our fuselage here. You'll see a couple of added things. I did go ahead and add in the heater ducting, just because I figured that would be hard to get to up front here where there's a whole bunch of like little ring clamps and whatnot. Anyways, hard to get up here, I'm assuming, once we have this top part over. So it's just up front done. Back here is loose, just so I can get to that flap motor and wire it up and whatnot, but I can easily move it around, trim as needed, and get it installed. So the other thing I did do is match drilled the engine mounts. This was much less stressful than I thought it would be. If you go searching online in the endless forums and whatnot, this tends to be an area of a lot of stress or work, or I don't know, a lot of communication all about this engine mount, and it honestly was not bad. I did not do a lot of these elaborate methods that people discuss. Mine was a pretty straightforward and simple way, but the way I chose to do it, and again, don't take my advice, but the way I chose to do it is the plans call for initially upsizing one of the holes on the front portion of the fuselage there to 3/8. So I went ahead and got this bit on Amazon. I think it was like $10 or so, but it reamed it up to 3/8 inch. Actually, I first went to 1/4 inch just to get the front started, and then it made a really clean hole. And I think I started in this corner here with the engine mount off. The reason why I did that one is I initially actually held it up, and all of these are slightly different. There is no steel weldment in any of the Vans kits. It seems like that's precise. They're all metal. When you weld it, has character. So anyways, I held it up against it initially and found that this hole over here seemed to be in the most agreement with the rest of them here, with this one being a little bit off to the side. So when you get your weldment and you hang it up to the front of your firewall, you'll understand what I'm saying, but they're all slightly off. So I found this one here was giving me my best bet for square one. So had the engine mount off, upsized that hole there, bolted it on there using a castellated nut there, not the nut that actually calls for, because this will be coming off. From there, I went ahead and made on 3D printed this little part here, and this little part I then, this white part here, I 3D printed that with the idea being I can use it as a sleeve to then have a drill bit go through and drill into it. But what I did with this one here is I took a, what is this, I took a 3/16 reamer, wrapped it in tape, put on a drill backwards, and then put tape on it to make this nice and centered inside of there. Use this device here, threw it through here, because in the firewall originally there's 3/16 holes. Put this into the firewall, hopefully this makes sense, but put it in the firewall in this orientation, leaving it flat, and that held this other side. That way I can go ahead and start drilling stuff. So that just held it there temporarily, just to keep it somewhat square relative to the rest. I think I chose this one due to it being the most in agreement with that one over there, where once that was bolted on, this one was the most centered up hole. So slid this contraption here into that hole, left it there, then went ahead and started drilling. Now the way I drilled this is 3D printed a whole bunch of these parts, and these fit perfectly over the outside of a 3/8 inch drill bit, and then I used a piece of tape, and that tape acts as a limiter, so it doesn't work its way out and travel. So I adjusted the tape as needed, initially started up forward towards the front, and then I take off the tape, set the tape back another 1/8 inch or so. Anyways, trying to keep this bushing for the most part centered inside of the weldment. So I hope all this makes sense. But from there, it was very straightforward. Taking that little plastic piece off every so often, cleaning out the drill bit, putting it back on, and anyways, here we are. Much easier than I anticipated. It is all match drilled and ready to rock. It will all come off because I think it'll be easier to rivet these ribs here to the inner structure. So anyways, it'll come off. But now in the future, when the forward fuselage portion is on here, I won't be playing the game of trying to do match drilling then. It'll just be ready to get slapped on there, bolted together. It'll all be matched up, ready to rock. So we are done up front here and moving on. Okay, so the sides are riveted on. The front portion here, this will stay for now with no rivets, but the front portion here where it attaches to these 3 ribs I'll have to do with Amanda. I can't get to them solo, but I was able to get at least the long sections here done solo. So now I am, gosh, it is hard trying to get my remote audio panel back wiring harness in there. It is really, really tight. I'm not sure if that's in view or not, but gosh, I left myself no room. So you'll see I have a borescope here, and I'm basically, I got two screws done, but basically it's just moving this around until I get them in frame, like that, leaving it there, and then sneaking a small Phillips in there and getting it tightened down. But gosh, that is hard work. So if you're doing this, use caution here. I probably... I am at the limit for how far that way I can go with the harness coming out of the backside. So it is a lot of work. Hello YouTube. Welcome to our hot and sweaty garage. I am here.
76.
It's pretty toasty. We've had a really wet end to the monsoon season here, so mosquitoes are gnarly right now. And if you leave the garage door open, mosquitoes will come in. So anyways, here's my riveter, Rosie. Say hi.
Hello.
She still exists. There's proof of life. She does, yeah, she's still living. So we're out here riveting. It's a lot of fun. I am sitting on some foam pads here, and we've been knocking out basically the front portion there. I'm leaving the bottom 2 out for now because they look hard to get to, and we're getting to that one right now. So she's running the gun. I am kind of lining up. It's actually handy having these openings where I've place these openings because I can actually look through them as a little peephole to find out where I'm at. So finish riveting and get the heck out of here. Just leave it there. Oh.
Let's watch as the ballerina flawlessly gets out.
Got a little Justin Poet action going on here.
The sandals.
Okay, YouTube, we are ready to actually finally start installing all of our avionics up front here. So very exciting. We're going to start picking away at that, but wanted to catch you up to speed really quick on what's going on back here. So I'm finally getting this stuff installed. You'll see I stole this from Justin Poet. I originally had a bridge here to hold the rear seatbelt cable, but took a look at his build log and found he used a little ring there. So this is not tightened down yet, but basically I just installed all of the back bulkhead area, had this nice and tight where it was supposed to rest, and then this ends up actually floating perfectly inside of there. If it ever did have any side load or anything, this is really flimsy. It could easily adapt to whatever's happening up front, which hopefully that never happens. Other than that, back here, I wanted an access panel back here, and I also wanted to be able to add my power supplies and whatnot. So if you recall, on the panel I have a switch called rear accessory. This is where it's going to be wired to. There's your sign. It's just your generic cigarette style outlet. I think they're from Blue Sea. Yeah, Blue Sea System. So anyways, I know they're a quality brand, quality company. Then on the bottom here, a battery charger. I do plan on having an EarthX. I forget the name of the charger that they recommend, but there's one that is able to be used as basically a ground power unit. So I will get there where it says battery charger. This will sit nicely there, and then it'll also, and just for proof that it fits in there. Nothing here is installed, but it'll sit and look like that. And then if I ever need access to the inside, I can either A, pull this out and drop it to the side, or B, bring it in at an angle and drop it behind there. So pretty neat, and I have direct access to the ELT there on the side. So if I ever did need to get access to it, if it had like a false alarm or anything, I'm only removing eight screws versus 20 something with the AC system, the grill, and all that's up there. The main mission right now is going to be jumping up front here, and we will start installing all of our advanced flight systems accessories. We are getting somewhere. This is very slow moving. It's a lot of work getting this all installed. Still though, with that said, those of you out there who are wiring your own plane and doing it all on your own, y'all are awesome. I could never do such a thing. This is still a lot of work. Even having it all pre-made, all these bundles already pre-made, I'm only terminating one side of a lot of this stuff here. But still, it's quite a bit of work. It's honestly not the easiest to record. It's not easy to record at all, actually. There's just too many small operations going on to really single out anything that's worth actually like a cool shot or whatever. So anyways, with that said, I did want to give you a quick little, I guess, not how to, I don't know what I'm doing, you guys all know that, but a quick little entrance into the thought process of what goes on with the kit. Especially if you're using advanced flight systems for your kit. So when you go forward with them and order your kit from them, you get all these. You don't get necessarily this binder. I went out and got this binder and laminated actually all of the wiring diagrams. That way I can just get to them easily. I previously was not doing that, and the papers were starting to get beat up. So you have all these fancy wiring diagrams, all of the color-coded cables, so you can quickly, if you needed to, jump into here and terminate something or whatever. If you're Let's see, you're dorking around over here and you see this wire that's coming over to the right-hand side that's orange and purple. You could probably go over here and find either your wing wires or rear aircraft bundle, whatever, and find whatever that wire may be. So what I'm getting at is the current project I'm working on is for control sticks. I went ahead and started prepping here. I'm trying to kind of make future Austin like current Austin. And one of those ways is making sure that when I go to put this panel in there, I don't have any really hard wiring to do or anything like, oh, I forgot to do that. So good example, push-to-talk. I could probably get to this without issue in the future, but I have it open. I'm doing it now. So I did choose to have Kyle add push-to-talk for both the pilot side and the co-pilot side. On the back side, I already went ahead and soldered on just quick little leads. That way it's ready to rock and ready to go. I spoke with Advanced Flight System support just to make sure I knew what the heck I was doing. and they confirmed I just need to have one of these spliced into the active wire on each respective control stick, and the other side will go to ground, and that's all that's doing when you push the push-to-talk button on the stick, is it's just closing that circuit. So with that said, I have my leads ready to go. Went over to the fancy wiring diagram here. I found that both pilot push-to-talk and co-pilot push-to-talk are both blue. So I went over here to where it joins with the ACM. Here is the bundle here. So it's these two different sides. I already went ahead and routed them to each side. But I went ahead and found the blue wire on each and snaked up a little loose end. So there's the pilot push-to-talk wire, and here's the co-pilot push-to-talk wire. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and splice into this. I'll probably chop it and add a heat shrink and add in just kind of splice in a new branch off of there. And this will be able to tie into the co-pilot push-to-talk on the panel, and that will route up over here somewhere to the pilot push-to-talk. So pretty neat having all of these colors done for you. Where I realized how handy that is when I only ran a couple of wires. So when I went ahead and ran my wires to the back side, where I'm going to have a rear accessory relay, which is right there on the right hand side of that pillar, and then the camera power relay there. Anyways, ran those myself, but I used all white wire, so I had to actually kind of re-pull, kind of figure out which one is which. I didn't label them initially as a new move, but what I'm getting at, color-coded is nice. So yeah, that is where I'm at. You probably saw on camera those little red labels. Those red labels are just notes for future me, so I don't screw things up. Those 3 locations for the comm mount require shorter screws. I found that they were interfering, the standard length screws were interfering with the EMS that was on the back side, which maybe is in frame. I can't see where the camera is, but they were interfering, so I went ahead and cut down the screws to not interfere and left notes for future Austin not to screw things up. So yeah, that is where we're at. You can possibly see over here as well. This is something I would definitely do if I was doing this again, is this grounding bus bar here. What I found is one of these bundles actually required quite a bit of ground wires to be terminated over here, and it was nice having that actually already there. That kind of was just luck. I considered putting that actually on the other side, but it worked out well having that grounding bus bar right above the ACM. So I'm going to shut up now and get to it. We'll splice into here, add a little shoot-off leg off of each one. That way they're ready for the panel, and we'll check in sometime in the future. Alrighty, YouTube. I know I've said it probably a dozen times now, and if you've not heard it a dozen times, through the power of editing, I've edited it out. But I think we're finally ready to get the panel installed inside the plane. So the panel has lived here for way too long. It's been very busy, very hectic over here, but still getting a lot done. But I feel like we're officially at the point where we can get that thing in there. I know this looks messy. I will do more cleaning up after I get the panel in, but I have most of it ready to connect. Don't worry about the blue masking tape. Of course, I will not use blue masking tape to hold wires in certain places. That's temporarily holding certain things before I mount them to the panel itself. So the reason why I also say why I think we are ready to mount it is last night Amanda and I knocked out the final installation of the engine mount here. So got it all installed, torqued down. That was actually a lot easier than I thought it'd be. Yeah, so super simple. So we're ready to go. I do think there'll still be a little bit of work to do. So over here, a good example, I'm running dual PMags, and I don't have the wires ran for those yet. You may ask why I have not run those wires for those PMags yet, but I don't know if they come with the engine. And on that topic of engine, we have an engine, and it sat over here for the last couple weeks collecting things. It's turned into a workbench of sorts of just collecting random electrical goodies, AC system goodies, all this stuff. It just turned into another garage horizontal surface. So I don't know. So when I ordered my engine, I ordered it with dual PMags. I don't know if it comes with any wires in there for that. So I'm leaving it out. I'll get to it when I get to it. I think I can do it easily after the fact. I should be able to unscrew the front here, and I think remove those to the rear and do any kind of wiring. Or worst case scenario, if I have to, I can get under the panel. I did spend quite a bit of time underneath the panel recently. You'll see here I just took stacks of foam insulation and some car mats and laying in there to get access to the back side. I had to do that to get my B&C alternator voltage regulator attached to the backside of the firewall. So you can't see it here. But anyways, I'm going to shut up now. We're ready to get this panel in, so let's get to it. Alright YouTube, welcome to the inside of the fuselage here. It is very cramped, but wanted to loop you in and where I'm at with the wiring. But right now I'm wiring up the master switch. So the cool thing with Advanced is the panel comes with these cool little switch pod deals. I don't know what to call them, and I know the lighting probably really sucks right now. Apologize for that, but beautiful Phoenix sky is blowing out the shot. So anyways, with these little switch pod deals here, you'll see there's a D-sub connector here, and that looks like it's going to be controlling this side, autopilot, alternator, and avionics, but then they actually have you manually terminate your master relay wire here, as well as the ground for the master switch. So just now I went ahead and wired up a wire to my grounding block that's just above my ACM, and then also terminated the master switch side. So I'll terminate this end real quick here. We'll get that put onto the back side of this, whatever we're calling it, switch block thing, and get it installed, and then move on over to the passenger side. Okay, real quick, a little lesson learned on the ACM here. So I'm getting this installed, and over here I had a little bit of an issue with the tight-fitting D-sub connectors here. These section of 4, the summary here for you is it doesn't matter what orientation they're in. Your plans that you get from Advanced Flight Systems come, they're somewhere over there, but anyways, they come printed out and they specify what should go where. It really doesn't matter. I did verify that with Kyle. Sent him an email asking if I could change the order of these. He said, yes, no problem at all. It will figure out what's plugged into it. And that is just for these 4 on the right side here. So you really can't see the 4, but that one there, and then where this D-sub is connected, and that D-sub is connected there. The big thing, though, is I had a lot of resistance when I originally went to plug these in. There's a hinge on each side. You'll see the one on top there, possibly sticking up. I know the lighting's horrible. But basically summed up, make sure that hinge is pointed outward on the top one and then outward on the bottom one, so away from each other. They're really close to each other, and yeah, just make sure you do it that way. I had it the other way around. I had hinges contacting each other, and these both were conflicting with each other on the way in. So I'm going to go ahead and, now that I went over that, get this panel here installed. I will have a lot of tidying up to do later on. Underneath, you'll see these little dangly guys there. I'm not plugging in my comm radios just yet. Or at least the boxes that are behind this panel. I can get to them underneath. I don't have the ability to plug in my antennas due to the cradle that this is on. It would interfere with the cradle. So I heard or read somewhere not to power up your comm radios without antennas, that you could do something bad with the comm. So I don't want to deal with it, even if it's wire still, I don't care. I can get to those really easily later on, just getting underneath and then going up in, adding them, and then I'll already need to go up underneath there to kind of tidy up a couple of loose wires where I'm not able to get to them from the front, like all these here. So I will do more tidying up from the bottom side, plug those in later. So let's get that panel in, and then we'll go ahead and get the GPS navigator in, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, applying power for the first time. We'll see if the magic smoke stays inside of the avionics or not. I think we have everything pretty much good to go. Of course, servos and the wing will not be connected. I'll probably get a lot of errors. All I want to do is make sure that the thing powers up, so we will see. It said in the instructions to make sure the autopilot switch was on prior to turning it on. Not sure if it's applicable here, but it is on. I hear a fan back there. That's a good sign. Oh, cool!
I feel like I can like visually
I'm so
see like sweat beading on your forehead.
That is awesome. Yeah, a bunch of errors. Out of hearts is not connected. I don't know. Let's try turning on avionics and see everything else come on over here. And by the way, I don't have this battery on a tender, so I'm gonna have to be pretty quick here. Oh, this is so cool! This is awesome! Those fans are cranking.
Nux.
Pretty cool. Holy smokes.
Oh man.
This is cool.
Hey!
And a bunch of messages. I don't care though. I just want to make sure we're getting power to the damn thing. This is really cool.
First time. How's it feel?
I'm just so glad that there wasn't, honestly, any spark, smoke, whatever. There's a lot that can go wrong here. Oh, this is so cool.
Hey, we're building an airplane.
We're building a freaking airplane. Oh, so cool.
That's awesome.
How neat is this? So cool. I'm gonna watch my voltage. Oh, I gotta put my my finishing strip on there. This is not important at all.
Oh my gosh, you really like this thing, huh?
I really do.
It's cool.
Again, I did not come up with this. Someone else on Vans Air Force did.
It makes a big difference,
But
though,
it really does.
for how simple it is.
I'll do some trimming. Get the point. That's for sure.
That looks great.
I have to cut off an inch over here. Cool. Or I tuck it under. Anyways, worry about that later. Okay, ready?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh, this is so cool.
That's beautiful.
This is so beautiful.
What time is it?
Maybe that's why I'm not thinking straight. It is 12:16 a.m.
First time powering on. Nice job.
Quick little interesting finding. Installing the Pioneer control grips, I am just testing whatever I can test. So I am able to test the transmit button. I don't have the comm radios plugged in down there, but you can see on the panel right there that TX that changes colors. So that does work, but I was finding that when I have this installed and I press autopilot disconnect, that little button right there, it was actually, and it may not replicate it right now, which is the joy of electrical issues. Maybe I can get it to contact. Oh, there it goes. It's coming in and out. Anyways, the autopilot disconnect switch is actually engaging the transmit function on the radio. So pulled this apart and I found where it looks like there's some liquid electrical tape or similar liquid, whatever, right there. You can possibly see it. And what's happening is it's missing on that little portion of the push stop button, and it's interacting with that red lead there. Really hard to get on camera. That little red lead on the autopilot disconnect is actually backing into that missing portion there for the ground where it interacts with this push to talk. So probably put a maybe piece of tape or something on the inside of there. But if you are using these grips, they're awesome, but you can troubleshoot. You can easily get inside of there and take a look at it. So again, I'll probably just insulate that somehow, put it back together. But they look really, really sweet. Alrighty, YouTube. Don't know how far the video got, but I'm going to end it here. Next video, the reason why I'm editing it, now, even though I'm not all tidied up here like I'd like to get, but I need to start prepping for windows. We're actually going to be moving homes in a little over a month, maybe 2 months from now. Anyways, we'll be moving home soon. In order to do that, I need to get windows on. I need to get gear on wheels. I don't know what I'm going to do with the engine, but we need to somehow move this across the valley. So staying in the Phoenix area, just going up further north to North Peoria. So I have a lot of stuff to get done. So with that said, video's ending here. I'll end it here with a quick little wrap up as far as what I've done and possibly what you've not seen me do on camera. But up front here, knocked out these Pioneer control grips. You saw those previously. They look awesome. You'll see the control sticks. Actually, I got those powder coated before installing them by Steel Vision Garage over in North Phoenix. If you're local, check them out, use them, support them. They're awesome. Other than that, up front here, this is all mostly done. You'll see a lot of error messages. Everything has been tested. So like oil door, you'll see oil door's moving right now. So oil door is moved. So anyways, you'll see up front, engine mount is on, wires are kind of ready to rock. I understand I'm going to need fire sleeving through here, so this is all not finalized. I'm just kind of placeholding, there's just placeholders for now. So again, all that is there. AC system, actually I was able to wire up, so if you're curious, shout out to Justin Poet for walking me through this. Left side ground, right side power, with this relay box in this orientation here. I do not have anything else hooked up as far as electronics go. I'm not able to unhook anything here until we're ready to rock. So I'm just gonna wait until the future before I unplug stuff, because there are notes about taking off caps on certain things. You do it when you're ready to actually charge the system. So I kind of have to stop there. But for now, at least, I am able to verify that it works. So there's the fan is just moving and grooving, and yeah. So that is exciting to have the AC system powered up, at least the fan. And then my relays. So camera power, you'll listen in the back. You can't hear it, but there's actually relays back there. Yeah, so those are going to the back of the plane over here. I need to do a lot of tidying up, but that rear accessory goes here. It's these split cigarette style chargers. And then the camera power relay is the relay over there, and that will be going to wherever I want to put cameras. So yeah, I also have the battery in over there, the EarthX battery. I did pick up this Optimate charger, which also works as a ground power unit. So you'll see I have it in tune mode here, which is why I'm able to run all this stuff over here. So I'm going to call it quits here. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. And next one, again, we'll be knocking out windows, which is going to get real interesting real quick. I'm not looking forward to doing the windows, but front windshield, which I've already cut down and whatnot, but I've not done any trimming work on the doors or the back windows there. So we'll jump into windows next, and we'll see you in the next video. Adios.